What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Two Car Garage. We've got a pretty big week this week because we're trying to figure out what the heck is wrong with this 55-year-old motorcycle behind me. Last week, we tried to get it started. I was all excited, and nothing. Not only did it not start, but there was like a loud metal popping noise or something that was pretty horrifying. So we're going to try to figure out what the heck is wrong with it, get it started, get it running kind of. That way we can dial it in to where it's idling nice. Once that happens, we have a lot of small adjustments to make, a lot more small stuff to do on the bike, attaching foot pegs and handlebar stuff. We need to start prepping our gas tank. We have to put on a new style petcock, the side covers, the rubber knee pads. We also have to start thinking about our seat that we're going to recover. So, as always, thanks for tuning in. Be sure you're commenting, and subscribing down below. Let's get started. So the first place I want to look to try to track down this issue is the Kickstarter, for the sole reason that an episode or two ago when we checked for spark, we had the side cover off and cranked it a few times with the electric starter, and we didn't hear the noise. Or at least we weren't cranking it long enough to, but either way we didn't hear the noise for a little bit. So why don't we take this side cover off again, crank it a bunch this time, see what happens. So to take the side cover off, unfortunately, we have to remove the muffler again, remove the brake arm, maybe the footrest here, but should go pretty quick. So let's remove this stuff and then go from there. So now we have the side cover and Kickstarter arm off. We see how this looks in here. We have the magneto that spins, the front sprocket, and this is the kickstarting shaft, which connects through the clutch. So now the clutch without the cable on is disengaged completely. There's no tension on this rod. We're going to try electric starting it. We'll see the magneto spin, and we'll see if that eliminates the problem. I'm going to pull the ignition wires off though, because I don't want it to actually fire right now. I just want to hear it crank. So it won't start even if it could. We'll try it just a couple of short bursts and then try a long one. Success. No metal smashing noise. Good. So we know that right now it's nothing internal in the engine. I figured it was that much, right? The engine is totally rebuilt, practically new. However, there's still that fear when you hear metal snapping coming from the engine. So it's definitely, the internals are good. Definitely nothing like that. So it can be one of two things at this point. It could be the clutch, because we have the clutch adjuster and cable that goes onto this push rod right here, or it could be the Kickstarter, which attaches to the shaft. So let's narrow it down by just disconnecting one at a time. So we're going to start with the clutch because that's easiest. So we'll just pop off the cable from the inside of the adjuster. The clutch won't be connected or adjusted at all. And then put the side cover back on, try again. Let's do that now. All right, side cover's on, the clutch is unattached, but the Kickstarter is still attached, so we'll hopefully rule out the clutch adjuster. So let's try to start now, see if we still get the smashing noise or if it's still clear. So still good. So that means that it's not the kickstarting mechanism, because the Kickstarter is attached, that it was the clutch adjustment. So somehow the way that we had the clutch adjusted was causing that snapping noise. Maybe we had it too tight, so the clutch was like on edge or something. I don't know, but either way. So now let's take that side cover back off, reattach the clutch, and try to do it right this time, I guess, and then go from there. Okay, the side cover's back on. The Kickstarter still attached like it was before. Now the clutch is attached, but it's very, very loose. So let's see what happens when we try to start it now. Okay, sounds good. So that's a really good sign. Now we'll just dial in the clutch to where I think it's adjusted properly, and then we'll try it again. I don't think it's the clutch anymore. Okay, so yeah, that's all old news. I think I took all that off and messed with that for no reason. Here's what I do think it is. I removed the ignition wires, the spark plug wires, and then it didn't make the noise. With the wires on, it makes the noise. What I think is happening is that the timing is so far off that it's detonating, right? It's igniting the air and fuel at like the top of the stroke or something. I'm not sure. Either way, the timing is way, way, way off. So now we need to time it. This is like a made in China electronic ignition kit that you get off eBay. So the instructions are like, screw it in and then set the timing, and that's it. So we're gonna have to figure out how to time it. I have a couple of tools that I think we'll be able to use. So that's the next step. Let's figure out how to get this thing in time, and then it'll run. It's that easy. Let's do it. Here you can see how the T and the F and then the timing mark. So the F is where it should fire. The T is top dead center. So what we need to do is we need to be sure that it's firing as soon as this F line lines up with this timing mark right there. So we're going to do that by hooking up a test light right there to the wire coming off of the ignition, and we'll adjust the ignition so that when that light comes on, it's exactly on the fire mark. It is set, I think. So here you can see what I had to do to the electronic ignition. You can see that I not only had to flip this, so this is where the magnets are. I had to flip it over, and then this plate, I had to drill these slots longer than they were. So this way it's adjusted properly with the slots longer and this backwards. That was the only way I could get it to go. Well, should we try again? I think so. I think once again we're going to try to kickstart it for the first time, and we'll see what happens. So let's go for it. There you go. Starts. So that's pretty awesome. I am really happy. It started right up, as you saw, second or third kick. It starts right up with the electric start as well. Clearly I have to adjust a few things in, adjust the idle on the carb, adjust the throttle cable, maybe tune a couple other little things, but it starts and it runs, which is pretty exciting. So thankfully we got the timing sorted out. Or did we? Because now I realized that in its current position, the timing cover won't fit over, won't sit flush on it. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But for right now anyway, it starts. Big milestone under our belts, which is nice. Now we can get to some of the other stuff. We can also start working on the gas tank. So the gas tank is bare right now. We're gonna have to attach the new modern style fuel petcock and the side chrome covers and little rubber knee guards and everything like that. The only thing that I don't like about resto modding and using new stuff is what I'm about to do now. So to get this mounting plate to seal on here, I need to use some gasket maker, some Permatex gasket maker. So this will go on the mating surface and it'll basically seal it onto the tank, which means that there's really no going back then, right? Like, it'd be nice if when you upgrade something, you don't eliminate the possibility of going back to the original. So in this case, what we're doing is pretty much eliminating the option of going back to the original style petcock. I think that that's more of like a mental barrier than anything. So we need to put some sealant on the bottom of this mating surface, seal it on, and then we're ready to put the new petcock on. And with the new petcock, we just have to use some thread sealant around the threads of this as well, where it threads into the new mounting base. Easy peasy. All right, all wrapped up with the fuel petcock, the gasket maker, as well as the thread sealant has to cure. I'll probably let it cure for like 2 days, just to be sure, especially before I make it susceptible to gasoline. Now that the tank is hardening up and curing, let's move on to some small but necessary things like the rear foot pegs. So we have the foot peg brackets, and just like all the other rubbers on the bike, I got new stuff either from Honda or reproduction. So we'll get these on and attach them to the rear swing arm. Well, there you go, guys. 55-year-old motorcycle, and it starts on the first kick. So that's pretty amazing, and you can't be too upset about that, even though we had some problems getting there. Sure, the timing cover still won't fit on, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We don't need it on to run. We did a lot of other small things, put on the grips, dialed in the throttle and the clutch adjustment, attached the rear foot pegs, and the fuel tank is curing, that petcock is in, and we're ready to go, so that next time we can just attach the side covers, and then when we're ready, we can just drop the fuel tank on. Also, next time we have another big project to do. A lot of you guys might have been wondering why you haven't seen the seat yet. So as you can see right here, the seat is all ready to go, and we are going to rewrap it next time as well. So we have a nice new vinyl cover and strap that we're going to rewrap it with a nice bright Honda decal on the back. So that'll be fun. I've only rewrapped 1 or 2 seats in my life, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes together. So with that, there's another episode of 2 Car Garage. Thank you guys so much for your support. Be sure you're liking, commenting, and subscribing. Also hit that bell down below. That way you're notified when new videos drop every Sunday. We'll see you next time. Thanks.